Jacksonville.
Here come that tail in black, baby. Duval with the 88th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars select Khalid Ransom, DB, Tulane. With the 89th pick in the 2005 Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Wyatt Milam, guard, West Virginia.
When you see me go out there on the field, you're going to see someone that loves the game of football, someone that enjoys it. They're going to play through the whistle. They're going to give everything they got. And they're not going to let anyone touch Trevor Lawrence. And I'm going to make that promise to them. And I'm going to make that promise to Trevor.
With the 104th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Bashal Tutin, running back, Virginia Tech.
Speed for Liam Cohen.
Hand off Tutin, breaks a tackle. He could go. Bashal Tutin, 55-yard house call.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Good morning, everybody here within the sound of our voices on Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you on another wonderful day to talk Jaguar football. Good morning, Tony Smith.
Good morning.
How are you?
Every time we play that open, it's so funny that we get Khalib wrong,
yes.
But somehow they get Bashal Tutin right.
Tutin, that's a good point, right?
And it's not like they never have one of the official NFL people at the microphone get it wrong, considering we've all heard Goodell, Marcus Mariota.
Like,
we've heard them mess up the names before.
You ever hear that one, Dylan? You ever hear Goodell do the Mariota?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's like we used it. It's Mariota.
Yeah.
Right? But Mariota, there was all these, like the whole, when he was playing in college, I'd probably call him 10 different things.
Who knows?
But I made a point to know during the draft process, Mariota. Goodell did not do that.
Mariota.
Dylan Denmark, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. We got rain yesterday, so I'm happy in my neck of the woods.
Oh, old man Dylan here. God, we needed some rain. This ground.
West side.
Ground needed a little bit of rain. I'm not trying to do a hacker there. I'm just trying to do an old man Dylan there. I haven't worked on my old man Dylan.
I'm more the old man than Dylan, and that was certainly my thought when the rain started. It's like, we needed this.
This is great. We need this. Man, the ground is so dry around these parts. Hopefully this will help with the pollen. I don't know. But yeah, well, I got my bucket of balls in. I went and saw my father-in-law yesterday because I'm a good son-in-law. I visited him and then got home, got my bucket hit, and about 15 minutes later, Tony, the biblical skies opened up on me, and fortunately I was at the house by then. So that was just fine and dandy. All right, we're ready to get into the Jaguar backfield a little bit today, among other things. Talk about this running back setup that they've got. Got thinking about it yesterday, Tone. They released Gabe Davis. He's a vet. And, you've got some film on Gabe Davis and you got a book on him, but there's also this thought process of where you think you know where he stands in the pecking order, right? And we believe it was not unintentional. I don't think it was a slight to Gabe Davis. I think it was more of when Liam Cohen was asked about who are your other weapons beyond BTJ, that other guys came to mind first.
Yeah.
Parker Washington. As a returning player. I think he did that intentionally. Even though they signed De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington is a returning Jaguar. He's earned his uniform here in Jacksonville. De'Ami Brown's done nothing to do that yet. I get it. He's part of the team the whole 9 yards. It's not college, right? But he went with those guys, didn't mention Gabe Davis, and then, of course, they had Travis Hunter. Now, had they not made the deal for Travis Hunter, then maybe they're drafting Ashton Genty with the 5th pick, and then maybe they're drafting a wide receiver in the mid-rounds, or maybe not. We don't know, right?
We don't know.
Maybe instead of that Bashal Tutin pick that's been on a wide receiver, or maybe one of the third-rounders, or maybe a second-rounder, for that matter, because they still have a second-rounder at that point in time. So it could have still gone this way, but, we laid it out. What does he give you on special teams? Gabe Davis, that is. He doesn't. He's not a special teams player for this team. So based on where he was in the pecking order, it was very similar. Mentioned this with Demetrius Harvey yesterday, and Demetrius, the one who brought it up, that when he asked about adding some edge rush, specifically said prior to the draft, we don't want to bring in a vet that's going to block the playing time of any of these young players.
Yeah, I can remember a few weeks ago, and I didn't pay much attention to it because this was one of those things during all the draft craziness. It's like, who knows who's here and what, where, and we have our rules about I don't basically believe anything, like in the draft lead-up process. But I can remember reading somewhere, and I can't remember where I saw it, that Gabe might not be ready to play till November. And I thought, I saw it and I was like, what? Like, what's going on with Gabe? Like, I had not heard anything about any of that kind of thing. It took me by surprise, but I was like, who knows what this is?
Well, he's not recovered. Right. He's not fully recovered. So I think it's very fair to say the Jaguars have an open time, or did have an open timetable on when he'd be available. So that's another factor. If you can't play, how are you going to elevate up the depth chart? How are you going to compete? How are you going to put yourself in this position? And they did obviously go out and they signed De'Ami Brown, who they have a vision for how they want to use him. And he is a young player. Gabe Davis, by the way, is a young player.
Yes, he is.
Gabe Davis, how about this? Is younger than Austin Trammell, right? And we're like, hey, got a couple of young guys on the practice squad. He's older than Gabe Davis, Austin Trammell. Now, we're talking about less than a year, but you get this idea because Gabe Davis has been in the league for a long time. He's got to be this age, whatever. He's 26 years old. Cephas is a couple of years younger. So there are younger players, but not everybody on that practice squad is just, this 22-year-old bright-eyed guy. But anyway, so they didn't want to block the ascendancy or the opportunities for some of these young guys. So again, all these pieces come together. It makes sense. Does that same thing apply to other veterans on this team? And we've talked about that. Well, who could they be? And heading into the draft, the two likeliest trade candidates we discussed were Travis Etienne and Devin Lloyd. Right now, they drafted Jack Kaiser, but is that enough to push Devin Lloyd off this roster? He's not making a huge sum of money. They didn't pick up the fifth-year option, but they're not exactly, in my opinion, crazy deep at the linebacker core.
Right.
He brings you to Travis Etienne. And I was talking with the guys of the drill just a few minutes ago. When you really dig into those numbers last year, he was not good at all. Almost a full yard per carry worse behind the same offensive line than Tank Bigsby was. Now, different running styles can lend itself to that, right? Travis more of the wannabe home run hitter, and therefore sometimes you're a little bit more patient waiting for the crease to develop, where Bigsby might be more the let's bang it up there and let's get 3 yards, and maybe we're going to miss out on some big play opportunities. But Bigsby had the 65-yard run last year. Etienne's longest run of the year was 22 yards.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Now, still want to see how these – there's no benefit to letting Travis Etienne go now or next week or whenever because that money's guaranteed. His salary's guaranteed. Different with Gabe Davis. It's more of a cap hit situation, which is just financial flexibility, but it's not actually cash that you're locked into. You're going to be paying Travis Etienne one way or the other. You're not going to release him. At least I wouldn't think. And just eat that money. Why would you do that? Why not have him as a veteran option for your football team?
He's not a bad player, so there's no reason to just release him.
But he had a bad year.
He
really did. And he started, and Bigsby actually ended up with more carries than Etienne. 4.6 to 3.7 yards per carry. The breakaway ability, 7 touchdowns to 2, which brings us to today's question of the day, Tony. They drafted a couple of guys. LaQuinn Allen scored 16 for Syracuse last year. Bajal Tootin had 15 rushing touchdowns himself last year. Bigsby with 7, Etienne with 2. Now, granted, circumstance is going to be different. The offensive line is going to be different. And we were kind of toying with the idea of asking a question about kind of your expectations for Travis Etienne this year. Is he like the starter who leads the team in rushing? He's a clear lead back. Is he a committee back? Is he just like a third down guy? Is he not even on this team? Does he get traded before the deadline? There are too many permutations. So we boiled it down to this, which will, in part, if you're voting for him in this, going to inform that you think he's going to be a big part of this football team. But he could be a big part of this team and still not be the answer in this question. Today, we're asking you the Chad and Sandy real estate question today. Which running back will lead the Jaguars in rushing TDs in 2025? Not total touchdowns necessarily, just rushing touchdowns. Maybe that's a goal line back, but if so, who is it, right? I mean, they've got a bunch of options of guys that have had a lot of success at the collegiate level, at least, in this department. So, alphabetically, LaKent Allen, Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, Basil Tootin are your 4 options, obviously, in the poll today.
Yeah, and I thought, talking about the Etienne potential for a trade, at some point in time, the details that finally came out with the Pickens trade, it's not directly informative to whatever it would look like with Etienne, right? But it gives you some idea of a player playing at Pickens level, right, who is talking about a contract. Dallas, who knows if they're going to be working out that long term, but they basically have him for a year. They're in Dallas. And so Dallas was willing to give up that 3rd-round pick, and then next year it's the value goes from a 6th to a 5th.
Right, they get a bump on the back end.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh gets the bump on the back end.
Pittsburgh gets the bump.
Yeah, on the back end. So they go from 6 to 5 in the 3rd-round pick this year. So that's what Pittsburgh gets out of it.
So a little bit more than a third.
Little bit more than a third is what Pickens was worth, and that's with
or a slightly higher third,
right? Like that kind of thing. I don't know especially with the glut of young running backs that just came into the league, right? When we talk about the Etienne trade thing, I can't imagine that it would be anything more than that 6th, right? That was involved in that deal. I just can't imagine that it would
probably not. George Pickens, I didn't realize he was from Hoover, Alabama. Maybe he came to see us over at SEC Media Days back in the day at some point in time. What are you laughing at there, Denmark? We were a big
I'm
hit.
sure that was his on his forte.
Hey, I was front page on the Birmingham News one year.
Shout out.
I was, because I acted like Nick Saban had an appointment with me, and I met him at the door, and I said, "Coach, right this way," and it worked. And he followed me right to the table, and I had all the media in Alabama around us. But the Pickens last year, 15 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Right? So he's still got that tantalizing big play ability. He only scored 3 touchdowns. But and on top of that, you only get him on the 1 year of the deal, right? But there's a pain in the ass tax that comes with him too.
To some degree, you would think,
right? You bring Etienne into a locker room. Travis Etienne's a good soldier, man. He's a good guy, and I don't have anything personal. If Travis Etienne gets it together this year, I'd love to see him go out there and rush for 1,400 yards for the Jags.
It feels like the situation right now with whatever trade market may be there for Etienne, it feels like it would require an injury somewhere.
But
from a competitive team, I think it would require an injury somewhere.
But that is always a possibility,
no
right?
doubt,
Now,
especially at that position.
They do protect their guys in preseason games a lot more at the running back position.
Yeah.
You can get hurt in any practice. So you can get hurt crossing the street. So that's always a possibility. And by the way, not that it would ever happen, but theoretically, a Jaguar back could get hurt as well, and you might be happy you have this surplus of backs available. So a lot of different ways you could go for Travis Etienne and this running back room, but today's Chad and Sandy real estate question today, just asking you which running back leads the Jaguars in rushing touchdowns this year. Allen, Bigsby, Etienne, Tootin, your 4 options there. You can vote however you feel. Checkmate Coatings presents our phone lines at 641-1010. You can also use that number to hop on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010, and communicate with the program that way. You can hop in the YouTube virtual studio chat, post your thoughts, questions, and whatnot there, or you can hop on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
My man. All right. So when we come back, it's all Knicks all the time. No, it's all Jags all the time, mostly, with a sprinkling of the rest of the NFL. Let's really get into this backfield, Tony, and our expectations and roles for these guys coming up this season, and we hope you are along for the ride as well. Jamal St. from Channel 4 coming up in about 20 minutes to talk all things Jags post-NFL draft. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Things you never hear Dan and Jeff say.
You made a mistake. You're human.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are the drill.
Everyone makes mistakes. So what, man? You're still my best friend.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Really? Of course.
Call 904-500-COOL. Ideal conditions. Ideal Conditions Heating and Air Conditioning is your go-to for all AC repairs and replacements. Just gas your AC. For exceptional service, call 904-500-COOL or visit idealconditionsjax.com to schedule your estimate today.
Call 904-500-COOL.
Honk if you see us. Call for service.
Ideal Conditions.
idealconditionsjax.com.
Riley Green, live.
Doing things a little different, Ray.
Damn Country Music Tour.
Damn country music.
Friday, August 8th, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena.
Damn country music.
With Ella Langley.
You look like you.
Drake White and Channing Wilson. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Riley Green.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Mia here. You know, people typically start and end their day by visiting their closet. So shouldn't that space feel calm, organized, like a little moment of luxury? That's why I chose Closets by Design. They specialize in custom solutions for every lifestyle and budget. Call them this week to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus another 15% off and free installation. Don't wait for mom to do it. Call now at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Get the real story from people who know the beautiful game best. The Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks with Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacy Ballum. Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, people have admired diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs that we've hand-selected and put together because of the way they sparkle on a lady's neck or ear. And now, through May 31st, Underwoods is putting all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale at 15% below our everyday price. We also take trade-ins on these pieces of jewelry, so if you're thinking about growing a diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond studs up to a larger size, it's an ideal time to come see us. To give an example, we normally sell our 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for $3,150, but right now they're on sale for $2,677.50. Our diamond solitaire necklaces are priced the same way, with sizes from 1/5 carat total weight up to 7 carats total weight. So if you need a gift that says forever, make it an Underwood diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond stud earrings at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Open early and open late. Dailies is always there, making things easy for you to cruise in and cruise out. So hit Dailies Cold Case the next time you're craving a cold one. Bud Light by the case, plus plenty of singles to choose from. Corona to the King of Beers to Stella or a Natty. They're all cold at Dailies.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and dock and door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. In summertime, it really can stretch out most of the year because we love the warm temperatures here in the Sunshine State. Greg, give them an idea of what Honda has to offer.
They are all over the board. They've got Honda scooters, Honda motorcycles, we've got Honda boats, we've got Honda side-by-sides. So whatever you like, we've got it.
That means adventure is waiting.
That's right, and we're ready for you.
In the showroom, you can find all that Honda has to offer on Atlantic near Regency, or check out Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Dumbo Shrimp Baseball is home at the newly renovated 5-star ballpark this week and weekend. Join us tonight for Coors Light Thirsty Thursday, fireworks tomorrow and Saturday, plus free beach hats to the first 2,000 fans on Saturday, courtesy of ViStar and River Point Behavioral Health. Catch on the field before Sunday Family Fun Day. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Dumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, glad you're along with us. Jaguars Today. It's a dive into the running back room, among other things, on the program this morning, Tony, with apologies to Keelan Robinson and Jaquindon Jackson. They did not make our poll today, but are currently running backs on the Jacksonville Jaguars roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it is a running back specific question, obviously. I mean, could Trevor Lawrence be the leading rushing touchdown leader on this team? I hope not.
Yeah.
Right?
I
mean, on the high end,
it's a
5.
possibility.
Right,
but,
5 or 6 on the high end. Like, I hope not. Bigsby had 7 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Behind a just not stellar offensive line. Let's put it that way. So we'll get into what we anticipate some of these roles to be coming up here shortly. And you're welcome to join the conversation at any point at 641-1010 on those Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Philip in Arlington going to bat leadoff this morning. Philip, good morning. You're on Jaguars Today.
Yeah, first of all, whoever was trying to bust Dylan's chops for saying the rain yesterday, I am an old man. You know what I've been saying for 2 weeks?
Need this rain.
When are we going to get some decent rain already?
Tell him, Philip. Case in point, Philip. There you go. And nothing wrong with being an old man. I got one foot in the grave myself, my friend. But I felt like a 27-year-old came off a little too old with that expression. That's my opinion.
Dylan's 27.
He's 27.
I just turned 64. What a good segment for you guys to give him 10 classic rock questions and take his phone away from him. I bet. Hey, Dylan, I bet you never heard of Dark Side of the Moon. You ever heard of Ozzy Osbourne? Anyway, ETN. Give him a line. How many times have he been caught in the backfield the last 2 years? Give him a line. He can take it to the house. But I was just thinking, our team, baby, finally has some cachet, as Costanza says. We got the number 1 pick. We got this new staff in. What if they catch fire?
What if they
Maybe
do?
We'll get flexed into a game instead of out of a game.
Hey, Philip, before you go, what do you know about Juicy J or Soulja Boy? You got anything?
Never heard of him, bro.
All right, just check.
I'm an old white suburban guy that was straight out of Duval, baby.
All right. Hey, Philip, we appreciate it. Dylan's a young white suburban guy that's straight out of the West Side. And he's hurt. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just generational. I'm pretty sure you know who Ozzy Osbourne is, Dylan.
I do.
Dark Side of the
Crazy
Moon
Train.
is an album by which band?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh,
Wait a minute now. Hold on. Wait, really?
Can I hear the song?
That's deep.
Really? I mean, it's not just the
I
song.
could show you the album, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, it's that by them.
Yeah.
If I showed you the album art, you would recognize it immediately, I think. But you don't know, like off the top of your head.
Huh. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't that stay like on the charts for an absurd amount of years?
Years and
like
years.
yeah. Right? Like in the Billboard Top 100 or something
Yeah, I
like
see
that?
the album now.
Yeah. So you got it?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, which one's pink? Anyway.
Yep.
That's our man, Dylan Denmark. Our young man, Dylan Denmark. Act like it, all right? He does. General, trust me, he really does. All right, so, Tony, could you see how many of these 4 could you see being the lead back? If there is such a thing. It may be, in today's NFL, you're not going to have a Saquon Barkley in every team that dominates that higher percentage of touches. But most teams have a clear number one back, right? Even if it's a 60-40 split, something like that on the early downs. How many candidates do you think Bigsby, for instance, is a candidate to beat these guys out and be that guy for this football team?
Probably not.
I think it'd be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a candidate in the sense that they're not going to deny him if he goes out there and performs at a high level over and over and over
again.
Again.
I do think the hot hand thing is a real possibility.
You have a great off-season, great training camp, and you earn that spot then
for this team. But he is, like, it's not the same as, like, LaQuint Allen being that would be lower on the list for me, right? But I do think the separation in my mind between the possibilities of Etienne and Tootin being that guy and Bigsby is pretty sizable.
Etienne and Tootin on one tier.
Yeah.
And a gap to Bigsby and a gap to Allen.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it, too. And I feel like for Etienne, it could be all or nothing. Either you end up being the prime mover on this team. You show that you're the clear best option that we have, at least for 2025.
Or that Tootin doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is, but I don't think they feel that is going to happen, but it still has to happen. He still has to earn it no matter what you think he's going to do. It was a terrific running back class, and they still went in the early fourth round. They could have gone a lot of different directions with that pick, and they chose him over other backs that we had talked about in the process. Not that we are, I'm not Todd McShay and Daniel Jeremiah breaking it down, but, we follow it along, and they took him ahead of Scadaboo. They took him ahead of Dylan Sampson and others that may end up getting significant run for their teams this year. So, yeah, I do think it's ultimately a two-man race. And if Etienne doesn't win that race, I'm not sure exactly what is he the third down back? I mean, look, Kent Allen seems like he's custom made for that,
exactly
right?
that, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue this running back talk. Let's get Eric on the west side up next here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Excellent, man. What's up? How are you?
Pretty good. I think this running back room is going to be tough competition, especially for Etienne and Saint. Like they pretty much will have to have a flawless training camp because you don't draft these two good running backs in the earlier drafts, as far as round 3 and 4. Well, I think maybe
4 and 7. 4 and 7.
Yeah, 4 and 7. But I think if Etienne come in and he ball out and Saint come in, they'll be the 1 and 2, maybe the 3. You may flip in Allen and Tootin, and then I'm pretty sure one of those guys will be a special team returner.
Who do you see? Let's jump ahead a year, Eric. It sounds like you think it's a competition between Etienne and Bigsby, right, for the starting job primarily. All right, so Etienne, regardless, unless he goes out there and just absolutely tears it up, he's on the last year of his deal. They just drafted 2 running backs. So going forward into 2026, do you think Tootin or Bigsby profiles more likely as the front end of the running back room to you?
Yeah.
Which
I would
one?
Agree. Tank, only because he have like fumble issues, and if he's able to come in and turn that around, he should still be okay because the two other running backs, they are still on their rookie deal. So you still got time to develop those two. So it'll be more pressure on Tank to make sure that he solidifies that RB2 spot.
All right. Hey, Eric, we appreciate it, man. Have a great day. Thanks for checking in, giving us your thoughts. I think this team, who doesn't covet speed, right? But I think they really are philosophically trying to build their team to be one of the fastest in the National Football League, right? We're seeing that with De'Ami Brown's a very fast player that they brought in. Obviously, Travis Hunter can fly. Tootin can fly. Tone, I think they're trying to, Ransaw can fly, right? I mean, some of these guys, just overall team speed is really an aspect that they're trying to improve upon. And I think if Tootin can handle the physical aspects, and part of that is ball security, much like all these top 3 guys have ball security question marks coming in. If he can do that, I don't know, despite the 65-yard run he had last year, Bigsby doesn't have that, that threaten the defense from the opponent's 20-yard line to take it to the house kind of ability on a down-by-down basis.
I think as we discussed how we kind of power rank it in our minds as far as the odds of who's going to be the leading rusher, right? And I do have that gap between Etienne and Tootin trying to figure that out down to Tank. But I think if I had to bet on who will be the second leading rusher on the football team this year, I would bet on Tank Bigsby.
Well, keep in mind, he outgained Etienne last year.
Right. Like, I think it's very likely that one of those other two guys will be the lead, and that whatever Tank's role is going to be in the offense, that it'll be enough of a chunk of the run game that if I had to bet on who's going to finish second in rushing on the team, I would bet Tank.
It is hard to imagine, for me, in today's NFL, that a back could start 15 games and produce 558 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. Offensive line. Bigsby coming off the bench had 766, but behind the same offensive line. So, again, this is for them to determine on the field, I think. And I think, the fact that Etienne's last year, the fifth-year option is fully guaranteed, gives him that chance a little bit longer unless the right offer falls in their lap. I don't anticipate a Gabe Davis type situation with Etienne unless it's just that we don't. I mean, even then, it's like it becomes the only thing that could keep him off is it that much of a roster crunch that you have to have somebody else that you're not willing to risk getting to the practice squad to carry 4 running backs on this football team. If you don't get that offer for Etienne, if, for instance, Tootin does beat him out, or Bigsby, or whomever, as the early down guy, what exactly is the role for Etienne other than break glass in case of emergency? Or does he just go out there and prove that he's still the guy we thought he was when we took him in the first round? Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Jamal St. will tell when he joins us next from Channel 4. A little post-draft look at the Jacksonville Jaguars and a little pre-rookie minicamp preview as well. Coming up next, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Sandwiches, subs, all the time. Of course, breakfast, any time of day. 3 a.m., swing into a gate station. You want French toast, they're going to have French toast ready for you. You know what? Protein packs, gourmet salads, light lunchtime wraps, breakfast sliders. Got a little something you just can't possibly imagine all the different menu items that they have. But if whatever your taste, Dandy's got something right up your alley. They've got veggie trays. They got fruit cups. You're watching your weight. They've got all kinds of healthy options. Here's the great thing about Dandy. They have a commitment to quality. They look for the best possible ingredients, locally sourced as often as possible, deliver their sandwiches fresh daily all around the First Coast, give you that fantastic variety, but that fantastic taste and freshness and high quality, and somehow still keep all their prices very reasonable. When you're hungry in Duval, Dandy, a local company, is the name to know. So do what I do when you are and go out and make yours a Dandy. Do it today.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
I was put on this planet for one reason.
Baloo.
To play hockey.
Rick Baloo takes you.
Don't you ever touch my puck!
Into the night. Weeknights.
Just behave, okay?
On 1010XL.
Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
Jaguars Today Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. for quality you can trust and savings you can't miss. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
Of course.
Find out if he does.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Join us at Miller Electric May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. We're on the lookout for talented people, from entry-level to experienced electricians and foremen, security system installation and service technicians, fire alarm system service technicians, and both senior and junior VDV technicians. This is your chance to get hired on the spot. Meet the managers, indulge in delicious food, and snag some awesome giveaways. Don't miss out on this electrifying chance to power up your career. Miller Electric, May 29th, 4 to 7 p.m., 6805 South Point Parkway.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and now Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Fantastic news here. Due to overwhelming response, Beers Diamonds extending their amazing earring and bracelet sale for Mother's Day. Picking here. So now through Mother's Day, you can still save up to 40% off diamond earrings and diamond tennis bracelets. It's Beers' most ambitious offer ever, and response has been incredible. The corporate-owned big box stores can't touch these prices. Beers, locally owned, man. Say hi to the Lupos when you go over there. The freedom to give you pricing you deserve, highest quality diamond jewelry. Celebrate the mothers in your life with something they'll appreciate for decades to come. They also have special pricing on other Mother Day favorites, including colored gemstones, pearls, pendants, and fashion jewelry. Beards Diamonds, your destination for making this Mother's Day truly special. Don't miss Beards Diamonds' biggest sale ever. Up to 40% off Beards' already beatable value price. Now through Mother's Day at the Town Center. Only locally owned jeweler. It's Beards Diamonds.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200. ChadAndSandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, it's been a few weeks since we talked with Jamal St here from Channel 4, Tony. We fully indoctrinated him into the Jaguars Today family this offseason, so we're glad he's here with us now post-draft and pre-rookie minicamp, which is exciting as well as he joins Jaguars Today right this very instant. Jamal, good morning. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing this morning?
Fantastic. Look forward to seeing you hopefully out there Saturday. In addition to Travis Hunter, you're a close second.
That's fair enough. I can take second place to Travis Hunter. I mean, that's pretty good.
What are we going to see at rookie minicamp, man? I mean, we all want to see Travis. I just think people just want to see Travis Hunter actually in that Jaguar jersey running around a little bit on the field. But what much are we going to see? Is that enough to satisfy the fans who come out to check things out this weekend?
I think that's going to be enough for most of them. I mean, Travis Hunter's kind of the big fish this year, right? That's what everybody wants to see. I mean, like, we'll sit here and talk about, like, Wyatt Milam, but I don't imagine there's going to be a bunch of fans in the stands waiting to see Wyatt Milam walk around out there on the field. You know what I mean?
Right, Wyatt Milam, Tony, versus the
He's in a
blocking
helmet.
sled. Look at him. He's got a blocking sled in front of him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that kind of thing. How much in the end, Jamal, do you think Travis Hunter will wind up playing on both sides of the ball?
During minicamp? Or
During the
during
whole
season?
thing, the real deal.
I think he's going to play a bunch. I know they keep saying that he's going to start off on wide receiver, and a lot of people are taking that almost as like him just playing offense this year. I think we're going to see him play a lot of both sides of the football on offense and defense. I think they're going to start him, and we'll see him heavily working on offense, learning the playbook and the nuances of what they do. And then once he's got that down, I think we're going to start seeing him more integrated on that defense. So by the time the season rolls around, I'm thinking we're going to see a whole lot of Travis Hunter out there on the football field this year, guys.
I agree with you, man. I hear Jamal, and I don't know. I guess people are trying to wrap their head around a guy doing this at this level, right? But I hear a lot of projections like, well, I'd play him like 80% offense, 20% defense, and always coming up with a number that equals 100%, right? But like, no, I want him like 80% offense and maybe the first year 40, 50% defense. You know what I mean? Certainly red zone packages, 2-minute drives, on defense and things like that. But we've got to just break our way of thinking, I think. We've got what I think are visionary young guys in leadership here, and they're not going to limit Travis Hunter before he shows what he's capable of handling. Do you agree?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Travis Hunter is unique. He is different. And honestly, I think the one thing I can say about James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, and this new era, Tony Vaselli, all of them, when they say something, we might not see the whole, but they follow through. They said they were going to invest in the offensive line. They did. They said if they have a chance to be bold, they'd go and do it during the draft. They did. They said we wouldn't be disappointed with what they did. We weren't. They sat there after they picked Travis Hunter, and James Gladstone said, we were okay with trading 2 first-round picks for him because he was worth a first-round pick at wide receiver, and he'd be worth a first-round pick at corner.
Mm-hmm.
So we just paid for both of them. That means they're going to play. I mean, that's
Right.
pretty clear saying that they're going to play it. I've been told that the Jaguars did a whole lot of sports science research around if this guy's going to be able to handle it, and they feel pretty good about it. I mean, I even have one former player say, look, at wide receiver and corner, I mean, think about it. It's not like if he does his job, there's a whole lot of plays where he'll be out there where he's not getting hit at both of those positions. I mean, he's just got to be able to have the cardio to be able to go out there and run, and that's one thing that he has. He can run all day. So I think we're going to see him play a whole lot, and they're going to go out there, and I know everybody's like, how long can he do that? Well, he's on 5 years for his rookie deal, and they'll figure it out after that.
I know you mentioned the offensive line, and we're not going to learn a whole lot about what's going to happen with Wyatt Milam necessarily this weekend, but how improved do you think the offensive line actually is with all the moves they made in this offseason without having seen them on the field yet? So we're all just guessing at this point.
Yeah, we definitely are just guessing. It's real tough. I mean, but when you look at it on paper, I think they've made some massive improvements. Like one of the biggest problems with the offensive line, I feel like we've talked about it for years now, is just the interior of that line was just not good. The tackles were always fine, and we're like, oh, the tackles are fine, but the guard and center play just left something to be desired, and you could see it when you're watching Trevor, and you go and watch these other quarterbacks, and they have pockets to step up into. Trevor has nowhere to go, so he's bailing out. Well, I think they're going to, by the time we get to week 1, I think Wyatt Milam's starting at left guard for you. Patrick McCarry's at right guard, and you got Ryan Hansey at center. They've completely redone the interior of that offensive line to try and upgrade it. And I think in a lot of ways it's going to be better than it was. I mean, Brandon Sheriff was on the last legs of his career. Ezra Cleveland has been okay, but ultimately been injured a lot since he's been here in Jacksonville. And Mitch Morris was in the last year of his career and was at best just okay. So I think this offensive line is going to be much improved, especially in the interior, which is going to help in the run game. And it's going to help Trevor have somewhere to go where he's not constantly just saying, okay, I got to get to the outside. I got to go out here and try and make a play with my legs or something to buy time,
Jamal St. here, Channel 4 here with us. You talk about that run game. We're talking about that a lot this morning. We know who the top 4 backs are right now at the moment. How do you – opening day, what are the roles? Maybe they're not fully defined for the whole season, but what do you anticipate likelihood of the roles being for these backs, whether they're, one of those roles might be trade bait, but, how do you see it playing out with the running backs?
I know everybody's like, the hype is around Tootin right now, right? About, is there competition between him and I think day one, Etienne and Tank are toting most of the carries. The rookie running back that I think is going to have a role in week one is LaQuint Allen. Because LaQuint Allen is just such a good pass-blocking running back. And Travis is okay. Tank's not good in that space. And it's hard to know what Tootin's going to be, but LaQuint Allen was one of the best pass-blocking running backs in college football last year. So day one, he can be their passing down back. He can basically give you what Doug was trying to get from Dearness Johnson last year. When they were passing downs, he's putting Dearness on the field because Dearness was the best pass-blocking back he had. You need to be able to trust somebody if you needed to keep him in to give Trevor some extra time. LaQuint Allen can do that day one. So I think he's the rookie who earns a little bit of a job. I think Travis is going to hold it down, but, Tootin's going to be chomping at the bit by the end of the year. It wouldn't surprise me if Tootin's kind of carved out a slot. But I think day one for Tootin, he's probably a kick returner. I think Travis is probably your main running back. Tank's got some short yardage duty with LaQuint Allen coming in on passing down.
That's fascinating to me, honestly. That sounds like almost a redshirt year and some special teams value for Tootin. And you may be right when it's all said and done. Fast forward a year from now, okay? Let's presume that Travis Etienne is not back, playing on the fifth-year option this year. And barring a spectacular season, they've invested draft capital in this position. Tootin or Bigsby? Who's what do you see Tootin as, I guess, for his long-term Jaguar career?
I think Tootin long-term is going to get an opportunity to be the guy. He's just such an explosive running back. At Virginia Tech, he was able to do it all. The one thing that was kind of red flaggy for him was he had some fumbles along the way, so they're going to want to shore those up. Look, I think he's going to get every opportunity. Running back's one of them positions where guys get banged up. You'll get a shot to see him at some point this year probably carry the load just because that's how it works. But I think when Travis's fifth-year option's up, I think his time in Jacksonville's probably over. And Tootin and Bigsby will probably fight it out. Ultimately, I think Tootin's going to get every, green flag put in front of him because he's just such an athlete. James Gladstone said when he interviewed for the job to get the general manager job in Jacksonville, he brought in a list of guys that he said would be day three steals if he took the job that he thought were priority guys. One of them was Bashal Tootin. So clearly he's a guy that Gladstone has had his eye on for a while. He was able to get him on the roster in Jacksonville. I think they're going to greenlight this dude in a year. You redshirt him a little bit, get some special teams value out of him, see if he can pop a couple of big kicks for you, let him learn, and hope you can help him shore up some of those ball security issues.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be the guy moving forward.
Going back to the offensive line for a sec, what would a breakout season for Anton Harrison look like, and how likely do you think that is?
Anton's one of the hardest guys on that roster to put a finger on because you'll see the flashes. I think a breakout season for him is just consistency. Because his rookie year, he played with a shoulder injury basically the whole season, had to have surgery after it was over. But the flashes were there, and you were like, well, he was playing with a bum shoulder all year. We'll give you a pass. And then we go to last season, and last season was a forgettable one. It just wasn't good overall. And so now you're going into year three, and honestly, you really don't know what you have. Do you need to be looking for the right tackle of the future? Is he the guy? We've seen enough of it where he can be good. You just need him to be consistent. So I think that's the biggest thing for him this season is if he can be consistent. And it helps a little bit that I feel like he's going to have consistency next to him now with a guy like Patrick McCarry.
I think the Jags, switching over to the defensive side here a little bit, showed their foresight. They said they didn't want to sign a defensive end and edge rusher that would impede the progress of any young guys they potentially drafted. And then they didn't have the right guy fall to them. Ashton Galati apparently was on the radar for pick 70 when he wasn't available. And, R.J. Harvey wasn't. They moved back, according to the Michael Silver story. So then they went out and they signed Emmanuel Ogbah. I think this is a really solid move, Jamal. And this is one that was such an obvious move, the type of move the Jags should have made in recent years and didn't. And more so than just the the third down when you can move Trayvon inside and play Agba as your third edge rusher. I feel like he gives you a guy that you're very comfortable that if one of your starters goes down for any extended period of time, this guy's played a ton of football in the National Football League. Like, I think this is one of the underrated moves that they've made so far this offseason. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a great move. I mean, it's almost akin to when they got Arden Key a couple of years back. I think it was similar timing for the signings, too. Look, you go and get a veteran edge that you really know what you're going to get. He's got sack production. If a guy goes down, you know exactly what's walking out there on the field and what you're going to get from him. He's a great third piece. They wanted to add an edge on day 3. The board didn't fall right. There were a handful of guys that I've heard that they were hoping to try and get their hands on, and teams were able to swoop in and swipe them away. But they did get Jalen McLeod. He's listed as a linebacker, but he's going to be in that kind of edge conversation. He's a little bit undersized, so maybe not a full-time starter at edge, but definitely in those passing downs. He's a guy who's going to get a shot at helping in some of those passing situations with the pass rush, too. So they did add a guy, kind of, but just maybe not the Ugba kind of guy. But, I mean, adding a veteran guy like that to that defensive end room when I feel like we've been asking who's the third defensive end, who's the third edge for years now. So now you actually have an answer. Great move. Under the radar, great move.
What was your reaction to them drafting Caleb Bransaw with the idea of playing him at safety after his entire playing career being at corner?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm from New Orleans, so I got family members that are season ticket holders for Tulane. So I talk a whole lot of Tulane football. And this is a guy that pops up on the field for that defensive guy, for the Green Wave for years now. I mean, he is an absolute stud. I mean, when you watch him, he has the coverage skills. He was one of the best tackling DBs in the country last season. He gets to guys. He brings them down. So, I mean, they're going to say he'll put the safe in safety. I mean, you talk about it like the safety is the last line of defense. Well, if he gets to the guy, he typically brings them down, which is what they're going to want there. But he also has the coverage skills to be able to move all over the place and give them a ton of flexibility. I mean, he can drop into the slot and do some of the things there. So it's going to give them flexibility on that defensive side, and he can cover a whole lot of ground and cover it fast. I love that draft pick. Love it.
All right, Jamal. This may sound like a silly question because, he hasn't played a snap in the National Football League, but circling it back to where we started, is Travis Hunter the face of the team already?
Face of the franchise.
He is.
Face of the franchise. I think a lot of people don't understand just how popular Travis Hunter is. Like, I'm not a guy who sits on Twitch and watches Twitch all day. I'm not. But I know is a ton of people out there. There's a whole generation out there that spends hours on Twitch. Travis Hunter is one of those and has a huge following on Twitch. Travis Hunter also has like 2 million followers on YouTube and on his Instagram page, which is more than every other Jaguar on the roster, including Trevor Lawrence. He is known for things outside of just being a football player. He is known for his role as a content creator, as a YouTuber, streamer, whatever you want to call him, to people that don't care about football as much. So he's creating new Jaguars fans right now just by, I guess to quote James Gladstone, just by being nothing more than himself. So, yes, I think he is the face of the franchise. He's the guy because he is the most visible. I mean, that's not taking anything away from Trevor, but Travis is in a rare space where he wants to be like he's a reserve guy, but he's also put himself out there to be this public figure that a lot of people out there know him from his time out in the football field with Coach Prime, but there are a whole lot of people that just know him for being online playing video games.
What corner for the team do you think will be most impacted as far as snaps when they do want to get Travis Hunter on the field on that side of the ball?
Probably Jarian Jones.
Got to be, right?
Yeah, probably Jarian Jones. I think somebody was asking about him the other day. I said, he's like cornerback 4 now, right? I mean, you're going to have Tyson. You're going to have Jordan Lewis, who's going to give you a lot of snaps inside and out. And I talked to Jarian Jones before the draft, and he mentioned that, he was prepping to play a lot of outside and had been asking the coaching staff, like, he just wants to get on the field and just wants to be the outside corner, like to play there. Well, you bring in Travis Hunter, who's a guy who's going to play some outside corner for you, right? So Jarian's going to be the guy that's displaced. I think a lot of times you're going to look out on the field and see Tyson, Jordan Lewis, and Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that being said, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Jarian's opening day starter, right? I'm not sure that they're going to have Travis Hunter fully up to that at that point.
And how open, that slot corner spot may be, the competition between Jones and Lewis. I know they paid Lewis, but Jones was really good in that spot last year, so it's hard to know exactly how that math would work.
I think that money's going to talk, Jamal, on that
Probably.
one.
Yeah, I think Lewis is going to start. And I think more than just the money, I think they're going to be looking at his leadership, this veteran guy out there on the field for him with that spot. But, it wouldn't surprise me if Jarian started day one. I mean, I like the way he played last year. It gives you some excitement going into year two for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, Ransall gives you an option there, too. I know they want to play him as a safety, but obviously he's got a lot of experience as a nickel as well if forced into duty. All right, Jamal St. Cyr, you can check him out, of course, on Channel 4. You can check him out if you are heading out to the rookie minicamp this weekend. You'll be looking for two guys, Travis Hunter, Jamal St. Cyr, and that's kind of where we're at on that right now. You can find Jamal on Twitter at JSTCYRTV, J St. Cyr TV. Jamal, all the best. Look forward to seeing you in a couple days, bud.
Hey, we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, there he goes, Jamal St. Cyr out the door. By the way, Jamal, I think he's still listening. Beth in Atlantic Beach loves when you come on. She told us on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures she loves when we have Jamal St. Cyr on the program. So shout out to Beth. Thank you very much. All right, let's come back, Tony. Let's continue this discussion. I thought you brought up a very interesting question during that conversation with Jamal, and I'd like to dig into it a little further when it comes to the offensive line. Let's do that when we come back, and more in Hour 2 of Jaguars Today, straight ahead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Get a Gator baseball chomp on 1010XL.
The Gators take a Texas two-step to the Lone Star State for a showdown with the nation's top gun, Florida, Texas. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon on 1010 a.m.
This Mother's Day, be direct. Tell Mom she shines without saying a word. At Diamonds Direct, we've curated a meaningful collection of timeless gifts for every budget, from birthstone rings and stackables to diamond pendants, pearls, and stunning earrings. So here's to Mom for her love, her strength, and always putting others first. This year, she deserves a gift that lasts a lifetime, and that's our specialty. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Denny Thompson here. If you haven't heard, Tyson Sound & Security has a house built right inside their showroom, showcasing complete home automation and security systems. You have to see it to believe it. This setup can recognize intruders who approach your door and alerts them to leave if there's a break-in. Keep your family safe with the most state-of-the-art technology. Tyson Sound & Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer.
I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Southside Kia. Online at southsidekiajax.com. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's Guggen Golf time. If you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament, it's May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Text Guggen, G-O-O-G-A-N, to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win. Great swag and prizes will be had throughout the course from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, TopDressing.com, and Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. You can win a Bernie Grill from Stonecore thanks to our sponsors, Ahead, Surfside Pools, and Ackerman Urology.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could visit.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjax.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL local sports update brought to you by Awaken 180. The Gators baseball team had a slow start to the season, but have since won 13 of their last 16 games and are back looking like the team they were originally projected to be. A big statement can be made for the Gators this weekend when they travel to Austin to take on the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns. For Gators head coach Kevin O'Sullivan, it's do or die.
We've been playing so well for like the last month. Everything is in front of us. So I told them at the end of the game, too, we have to have a good practice tomorrow, and we got to turn our attention to Texas. It's just as simple as that. I mean, we've been playing playoff baseball, it seems like, for the last month. You know, this weekend will be no different. I think they have learned over the last month, you know, the urgency that we have to play with.
Gators hit the road traveling to Austin to take on the number 1 Texas Longhorns for a 3-game weekend series starting tomorrow with first pitch at 7:30. Catch the game live on 10:10 a.m. It's 79 degrees at 11 o'clock time in temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, so congratulations. It's all about Travis Hunter on Jaguars Today. He is walking at his college commencement and will graduate as a 2-time first-team academic All-American. Mm-hmm. And then he'll just swing on by for a little rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
Come on by, and then he'll get on Twitch And whatever people do on Twitch, he'll communicate with a couple million people doing that thing on Twitch. That's how we do that Twitch thing, man. So is this his new favorite song, Dylan, or are we still going with Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne's his favorite song.
I'm saying Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Lil, L-I-L.
Little Wayne.
You ever heard of this?
Have I heard of this?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Philip.
Philip in Arlington? Philip in Arlington is definitely hearing this for the first time. No, I don't know. I couldn't have named this song, but I've heard it a few times in connection with it being Travis Hunter's favorite song in the last couple
I heard the sample there in Beetlejuice years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's a good pull. Now, is that the old? That's got to be the recent Beetlejuice.
No, the old school Beetlejuice. Like what he's sampling in that song. The song he's sampling there at the beginning of that song, I remember from Beetlejuice.
What does he sample?
That song from Beetlejuice.
What the one, the
6 foot, 7 foot,
8 foot punch. That's the one. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. I'm learning every day. I learn something from Dylan
the
Denmark
kids
every
have Lil
day.
Wayne. I have Beetlejuice in my head.
Okay, fair enough. My wife loves Beetlejuice. I was like, I just don't get it. Never did it for me.
Made me laugh.
Did you watch the remake?
The new one?
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
No, I haven't watched it yet. No.
Beetlejuice. See, I'll say it. I'm afraid. All right, you brought up a question to Jamal St. What does a breakout season look like for Anton Harrison? I think it's a very good question, and I think it's hard to quantify.
The offensive line, it's tough.
Right. What are you, pancake blocks? What is its stat? I don't think it's that, Tony. I think it's just a total feel type situation with him. I think it's a breakout season for Anton Harrison is one in which after the year we're asking, should we be extending him now?
Yep.
Is he clearly the best offensive lineman on this team? Is he no doubt part of your long-term future? Whether you get that extension next offseason or you wait a little while, because, you've got the 4th year and then the 5th year option available to you, but next offseason would be the earliest you could give him that extension. I think it's more about that. It's like, what is his standing with the team at the end of the year? I think most people feel, and maybe erroneously for that matter, that Walker Little will probably be here 2 years more at the max, right? And then you can kind of get out of that contract without a big dead cap situation. But that's presuming Walker Little doesn't just play really well as a left hand. He's still in his mid-20s as well, right? There's a lot of football ahead for him. But that's, to me, when you asked that question to Walt, I thought, this is what it would feel like to me. It's more of a, we don't have any more questions about Anton. This, sophomore slump, whatever it was. We've got new coaches. They're getting the best out of him. He's now realizing his potential. And maybe the most burning question would be, is he your future right or left tackle? Right? But that there's going to be no question that he's a foundational piece. Now, that's what a breakout looks like. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to have that, but that's what it would feel like to me. What about you?
Yeah, I think the extension thing was the first thing that got in my head. Like, how much are people going to be talking about when we get through this 3rd year? They can do it now, get it done now, right? We had those kind of conversations about Trayvon Walker, right? We're having them now. They pick up the 5th year option, and we're like, get the extension done now. If you can do it, do it. And hopefully Anton Harrison is playing at that kind of level. He was the best offensive lineman on the team after his rookie year.
That's what we all felt.
Right? Not after his 2nd year, though. It's kind of a weird space. He probably, if I had to list him, he's the best offensive lineman on the football team right now. But it's because there's not a whole lot of competition for best. Right? There's no one on that group that you're like, well, that's the guy, right? Like, this is what we're building this around. Well, he's the 1st round pick a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I would like to feel like he's kind of the foundation of the building, whatever that's going to be. And I do think the right versus left tackle in today's NFL it's grown, right? In a lot of ways where you can play your best offensive lineman at right tackle, and that's fine, right? Like, it's not like it used to be. It's like
Penei Sewell's the right tackle.
Right. Like, he has to be playing left tackle, or what are we doing with him? That's the way the league felt 15 years ago, and it felt that way for a very long time. I don't think it's that kind of situation anymore. I think you can be the best offensive lineman on a football team and play right tackle. If that's where you're playing, that's fine. Now, you got to figure out left tackle still, but I do think how quickly everything, get the ball out of their hands, like the way offense runs today, you can have your best player playing right tackle. So I don't feel a whole lot of pressure to switch him right to left tackle. That's not where my head is with him. We've talked about that for a couple of years. Are they ever going to give him a look over there? That's what he played in college. I don't really feel any urgency in that regard. I certainly think Walker Little's a better left tackle than he is a right tackle, so keeping him in these spots makes sense to me, going into this. But I do think it's the pressure on whether or not he should be extended is really the barometer to me. Did we get to the end of this year and we're going, extend him now if you can extend him now?
Or at least having the conversation.
Right. Or did we get to the end of the year and saying, I wonder if they pick up the fifth-year option? Right? Like, those are kind of the opposite ends of where I think we could be feeling with Anton, but that's where it's at in my head
Right, and somewhere in the middle could just mean, okay, he didn't have that breakout season yet, but it's not necessarily that.
And it's like, well, you probably pick up the fifth-year option.
Pick up the fifth-year option, but we're not necessarily ready to give him that long-term deal. We want to see
Give us another year to see, yeah.
And he's certainly a starter caliber player in the National Football League.
Yeah.
But starter caliber starts to get expensive, if you are not signing that guy for the long term. If you're talking about that fifth-year option, it's a pretty good chunk of money. We'll see. But I think it's more obvious. It's got to be to some degree. Now, maybe they've got some internal metrics and analytics that they would look at and say, well, in pass block win rate and how they define it, okay. But I think for the average person, it's going to be more like, I feel like Anton Harrison
it's a feel
handled his business.
Offensive line, it's almost always a feel
Trevor
thing.
wasn't getting killed.
Yeah.
Particularly from that side. Offensive line as a whole did a lot better in the run game, and he's a young enough player to be a foundational piece still for this football team going forward.
Definitely.
If you're taking 10 guys right now that you wanted to build this team around off this roster, you take Trevor for sure. All right, you take the two top wide receivers in BTJ and Hunter.
Yeah.
All right, you take Josh Allen. You take Trayvon Walker. Right. Then I think it gets interesting. I'd probably have Harrison. I don't know if he'd be the sixth guy, but I'd probably have him in there.
Yeah.
You'd have to guess Milam and Ransaw being pretty high draft picks for this team would be a big part of that as well. That's 8 right there, and I think you can debate. Is Tootin, based on draft stock, is he part of it? Because he only went right before Kaiser. And I don't look at Kaiser in that same vein. It's easier to see if a running back is a foundational piece. I think it'd be an interesting one to really dig into the weeds on. Tyson Campbell, is he one of those guys? Some people debate that,
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, the contract says yes, but does his play on the field always say that? I think he can. I think he's talented enough that I want him to be one of those foundational pieces. If he plays at his peak, I think he is clearly one of the best players on this football team.
Yeah, you're getting.
Does he do that consistently and stay healthy?
Yeah, you get past those first 6 or 7, and you're getting to the point on that list where it's like, well, I want this guy to be on the list.
Right.
Right? Like, you're getting to, it's like Mason Smith is interesting. I want him to be on the list.
Absolutely.
Like that kind of thing.
He's a good one, too.
Yeah.
Because that's a premier position if you get a high-performing player.
Yeah, it's kind of easy to figure out the 5 or 6, and then it's, here's who I want to wind up in that spot, right? And I think Anton is a guy that, talking about it, he's among those 5 or 6 right now, but I want to feel a whole lot better about the 5 or him being in that 5 or 6, right? Like right now, it's like, I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, he'd probably be at best 6.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah, like
6.
that kind of thing. It's like, I'm pretty sure he is. I could feel better about it, though. If you would have asked me after his rookie year, I would have been like, yeah, he's definitely. And now it's like, I'm pretty sure. I would like after year 3 to be back in the definitely.
Right.
Like, I would like to be back in that level of comfort with it.
All right. Speaking of level of comfort, time to go to Gainesville, see what's on Byron's mind this morning. Byron, you're on Jaguars Today. Good morning. How are you? Duval! What's up, Byron?
Guys, I had to call and defend anybody who did a Duval nice as Phillip did. But, guys, I was trying to think of what musician y'all were talking about. I thought Pink Floyd within Rolling Stones, but just to quickly let you know, when I was growing up, the top album was Hotel California by the Eagles, and I graduated to Barbra Streisand's The Way We Were. And when I hear that, I tear up now. But real quick, guys, sports-wise, I want to just quickly say, guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
Come on, don't do that, man. Hey, but quick, guys. I'm so glad to hear us talking about the running game. And what it's going to do is make Trevor, man, imagine Travis Hunter and BT and them running down the field with a running game and those cornerbacks coming in. So I like where we're going with the running game, the line, and the talk y'all doing. And love the guy for CBS Sports over there, Jamal, whatever. I'm bad with names, but
that's right. Jamal St here, Channel 4, the local station. Go Jags, Byron. Thank you. Byron's just excitable, man. That's all good. We appreciate you, bro. All right, let's come back. Let's dig into. Let's give our final thought on the running back position. And the question today is who's going to lead the team in rushing touchdowns out of the top 4 running back candidates, but kind of get into what their roles are going to be. We'll also go around the National Football League and get you caught up on all the latest news and scuttlebutt. If Tony wants to throw an NBA playoff update in there, I'm not going to stop him, but probably won't get that. That's coming up next or not on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Just a company I stand behind 100%. They deliver a fantastic product. Consumer Reports is a great organization. They tell you everything you need to know about all these businesses. They rank Pella number 1 in all the major window categories out of any company out there. Pella Windows and Doors right here in St. Augustine on Phillips Highway, just north of Bay Meadows. You can schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com, and right now get 0% financing for 60 months. 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business from Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today Thursday is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
I'm Paul Posluszny, and you're listening to the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Celebrate Mom with a unique experience this Mother's Day at Wick, a candle bar. Make her own custom candle with over 90 fragrances at Wick, a candle bar in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. Waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
At IHRS, we're passionate about solving your hair loss. We're clients too. With the latest hair transplant technology, FDA-approved laser hair therapy, and PRP, we guarantee solutions for both men and women. Call now for a free consultation and receive $250 off. Hair restoration is for me, and it can be for you too. Go to hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477.
Get ready. Welcome to Rockville is gearing up to take over the Daytona International Speedway from May 15th to 18th with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival is finally here. May 15th to the 18th in Daytona Beach. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. Select passes on sale now at welcometorockville.com.
Happy Mother's Day.
I have cooked, cleaned, scrubbed,
If you'd like some help with Mother's Day gift ideas from Beard's Diamonds, Wicca Candle Bar, Small Cakes Jacks, and Jacksonville Flower Market, go to 1010XL.com.
You're a good one, aren't you?
The restaurant of the day is the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Get a Greek Feast family combo meal tray with chicken skewers, gyro meat, gomades, and more. Feed 4 to 6 people for just $49.95. Feed 8 to 10 for just $99.95. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jax for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball at the newly renovated 5-Star Ballpark is your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Tony, going back to the early days of broadcasting. Mm-hmm. No internet. I don't know what the heck's going on. I got 2 monitors in front of me. Mm-hmm. They both went dark. And even young Dylan Denmark couldn't help me figure it out. Like unplug it, plug it back in. Here comes...
We're getting the guy.
Our guy. Here comes our guy. He'll work on it. Well, you have at it, Richard, and see what you can do with that. I've got my phone, which is the supercomputer of all supercomputers. Anyway, we'll look at today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day coming up. Which running back will lead the Jaguars in rushing TDs in 2025? Now, I'm going to be real mad if you just push the same button I've been pushing for 5 minutes and it comes on. Now, seriously, right? You saw I'm pushing the exact same button.
I saw what happened.
It's called the power button, right? And and I held it. I intermittently pushed it. I tried all these different things.
It's probably an update.
It's probably an update. I don't know. I think it was already frozen before it went dark there, Richard. Anyway, we'll get to the Chad and Sandy real estate question today. Tony, save us by taking us for a tour around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Indianapolis linebacker Samson Ebukam told reporters yesterday that he is expected to be cleared for training camp. He suffered a torn Achilles last July, missed the entire season after leading the Colts with 9.5 sacks in 2023. Houston has claimed linebacker Jackson Woodard off waivers after he was waived by Seattle earlier this week. Tennessee re-signed defensive tackle James Lynch to a 1-year deal yesterday. The details have come out on the trade of wide receiver George Pickens from Pittsburgh to Dallas. Dallas will receive Pickens and a 2027 6th-round pick from the Steelers. Pittsburgh gets Dallas's 3rd-round pick next year and a 5th-round pick in 2027. And Miami wide receiver Tyreek Hill has undergone a second wrist surgery that was already a part of the plan to deal with the wrist injury that had him not great last year.
Yeah, I heard it was just like to take the surgical screw out.
Something like
that. Right, like you go in, you put the screw in, it heals, and obviously, do I need to tell you I'm not a doctor? Okay, and so I think that's what I saw. It was for Tyreek Hill. And,
planned procedure, whatever it was. That would make sense that it'd be the screw getting removed.
Yeah, you said everything's great, everything's going according to plan, but who knows with him? It was interesting. Do you have to, like, if Brian Thomas Jr. was asked, who are the 5 best quarterbacks in the National Football League? Do you think he would say some combination of Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, and then Trevor Lawrence? I think there's a good chance he would, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of what you do, right? Love our guy. He's one of the best. Like Cam Ward was asked before the draft, who are the best receivers in the NFL? Number 1, Calvin Ridley. Mm-hmm. Think you knew where he was going? Number 2, Jamar Chase. Number 3, Justin Jefferson. Number 4, Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
Hey, he might not, there's a chance he might not even make the Titans this year. By the way, I'm really not happy with Richie for fixing this. I want him to fix it, but I'm not happy at the same time that this is getting fixed. We're not there yet. All right, so good. So, but power has been restored to the devices. But you know what? And so Tyreek Hill was asked the same question and had the chance, with that 5th spot to go to, or I'm not even sure who the first 4, because you can put Burrow in there. You could easily come up with 5 guys that people wouldn't question, but he put Baker Mayfield in at number 5, right up the road in the same state. And, Mayfield had a phenomenal season last year, and you could argue, fantasy-wise, he was the top 5 quarterback last year. I don't think that was what Tyreek Hill had in mind, but he was looking at, at least that's not the intent of the question. I don't think, who just put up the biggest numbers. I can look that up myself.
Yeah. Looking it up, Tyreek Hill, it was the 4 guys you would think it would be. Lamar, Josh, Patrick, Joe.
Okay, no Hurts.
No Hurts.
Yeah.
He went with Baker.
But I could see you having Hurts in the discussion.
For sure.
Been to a couple Super Bowls.
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow being anyone's top 4 right now makes sense.
Sure it does.
Right? Like that kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, if he's going to go with a 5th, it probably should be Tua, right? Like at that point, it was like, all right, just say Tua's name. You're playing with him. Just say Tua's name. Like that's how you feel as if you're a Dolphins fan.
I get not saying Tua and saying Hurts or someone but to not say Tua and say Baker, you're like, is Tyreek just perpetually trolling this team at this point in time, right?
Oh, man.
Wait, coming up today, Tyreek Hill once again throws up the deuces. Yeah. Leading to speculation.
There's so much of that energy out there around Tyreek Hill.
Totally.
It's okay. And if you're Tua, I guess you can just look at it and say, well, who cares? Like, I don't know how much you deal with.
Tua is a top 5 quarterback in the league.
That doesn't matter.
I think BTJ would answer that Trevor Lawrence is one of the guys because he's his guy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of receivers would do that as long as you've got an established, clear starter at the position.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect Chris Olave to say Tyler Shuck is the best top 5 quarterback.
But you at least, you get asked the question like that, and you go, I love playing with Trevor Lawrence. Right? Like, that's almost...
Take Trevor out.
Yeah.
Because he's my guy.
Yeah.
He's number 1 for me.
Like that kind of thing, and then I'll give you 5. It's like, I love playing with X.
You'd acknowledge him.
Here's the guys, right? Like, that's how generally I feel like players deal with that. Tyreek Hill they're nothing general. Like, he is not let me follow the trend of how this works. He's going to do what he does.
Let's put it this way. Somebody asked me for the top 5 co-hosts that I share the mic with here. If I went Garrard, Loggeman, Ogier, Duraco, McManus.
Yeah.
You might feel a certain way, and you should at that point. Tony's top of the list, by the way, so just to be clear on all that. All right, let's take our final time out so we can be on time for a change, and we'll come back and let's discuss this running back question today. We'll give you the 10-10 take on how we think the backfield will suss out. Most likely, we don't know, right? Look, it's very much within the hands of these players and their abilities, and then the evaluation process kicks in. So We'll discuss the Chad and Sandy real estate question today. Which running back is likely to lead this team in rushing touchdowns, which goes to what you think their roles are going to be this year. We'll discuss that when we return in a moment. Mike Dempsey, my favorite co-host, Tony Smith. Dylan Denmark, he's okay. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Play-by-play sports just sounds better on radio. For high school, college, and pro sports play-by-play, turn on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Tired of a plain and boring backyard? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop choice to beautify your home. With pavers, stonework, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, pergolas, and driveways. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Mother's Day is coming, so come to Jacksonville Flower Market and pick the perfect bouquet for the special mom in your life. They even customize the bouquet so it's exactly what she wants. Mention 1010XL and get 15% off. Jacksonville Flower Market off Beach and Southside.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
To catch more fish, you gotta think like a fish. Captain Kevin and the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services, and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. I'm here to share that the Gator Bowl is actually a year-round organization. We're known for the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl football game, which has been a Jacksonville staple for more than 80 years. Off the football field, the Gator Bowl is also host to the annual Florida State baseball game, a champion of local youth through Gator Bowl charities, and a strong networking organization of local individuals and companies through our membership. We're actually looking to grow membership, which is an affordable, fun way for you to get involved and give back to our community. To learn more, visit gatorbowl.com for more information.
Prosser here. Spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here. Rates are down. Activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Tony on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. This is addressed to you and Dylan. I'm begging you to just ask Mike how many hip-hop songs I currently have in my playlist. That's from the Commish of Duval. Which begs the question, what's a playlist, Tone? Man, I don't have Spotify. I don't have a playlist. I don't have any device that I keep a playlist on. I don't.
So how do you listen to music when you're in the car? Just radio?
In the car, turn on the radio. Yeah.
Okay.
Or I don't think I just got a car recently. My old one had a CD player in it though.
Mm-hmm. So you never connected Bluetooth to your phone to the car?
No, I don't, because I don't have music streaming on my phone anyway. Like if I want to, when I was doing my 6 mile walks around the neighborhood, I just go to YouTube and bring up a song and play it like that. So. The most frequently played hip-hop song by me would definitely be Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. I'm not kidding you. Like the extended version, I would that get me a good long section of the walk, Tone, accomplished. But that's all right.
That's all good.
Hey, I don't have different tastes.
I have playlists all over the place. I don't have a lot of hip-hop on those playlists, to be honest. I do have some Kendrick on there and some Eminem on there. So it's the, like that kind of thing. But that's about it for me. So I don't go all that deep with it. And that's fine. But it's on the playlist. And I do have a playlist. So I'm, again, grandpa, dad, youngin'. Right? That's the way the dynamic works.
I'm not a country music fan. There's some country music songs I like. I like some hip hop. I like a little everything. You know what I mean? But I'm set in my ways. I know the music of my youth is the music I listen to. So that's probably the same for a lot of people.
I think that's how it works. Yeah. Whatever you lock into, like those formative teenage years, that's generally where you go back to it.
Absolutely.
Like even 30 years later, that's what you go back to. So it is what it is.
All right. Let's see. Somebody else asked, I'm wondering if me, have gotten any of my my goodies from Dandy. Like, have I gotten a hoodie? No, I haven't. Hey, Dandy, get on it. Let's go. On some branded merch, please, for the fellas here as well. That would be nice. All right. Let's get to today's 10-10 take. Dylan Denmark.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
Here's my take. I'm not a boomer, but I come off as one. No. Thank you, Richard, for fixing. He says it was probably in the middle of some Windows update. I don't know why that shut down both computers, but whatever. It's working now.
With no warning.
I appreciate him.
Yeah.
He could have said it was the flux capacitor, and I'd be like, oh, that makes sense, I guess. All right, so today we're asking which running back will lead the team in rushing touchdowns this year. So, it's interesting. Jamal St. here thinks it's an Etienne Bigsby battle to be the lead guy. I think this, to me, it's a clear ETN Tootin battle.
Me too.
To be the lead guy, Tone. And now, that doesn't mean Tank Bigsby cannot be the designated short yardage guy. In fact, if he's not the starter, what would his role be, right? It'd be kind of a change of pace guy that you bring in to maybe get every third series, something like that. But you're not going to want to go away from your main guy in the big moments and things like that. I'm tempted to say Tootin here just simply because out of those two guys, like we saw last year, Etienne as a starter, he started 15 games, he scored twice, and Bigsby scored 7 times. If it's between those two, I would go Bigsby. I think it's more of a Tootin-Bigsby question for this question. Even if Etienne's the starter, I'm not convinced he'd be the guy that they would use into short yardage opportunities, and he didn't demonstrate any breakaway ability last year. I'm not saying he can't maybe get some of that back, with a set of fresh legs coming into 2025, but I don't know what the odds you get in Vegas on this are. I would say Tootin, keep it in mind, he's not just a scat back, man. This guy's got clearly decent size. You look, he's very similar. We looked yesterday, like an inch shorter, a few pounds lighter than Etienne. He's not a tiny guy.
Basically same size.
He was a 15 rushing touchdown guy last year. And I get it, college, different than the pros. But I think it's either Bigsby as the goal line back or Tootin as the starter with more juice than Etienne. And I'd give an unconvincing vote to Tootin here. I wouldn't, bet my lunch money on it, but that's where I would lean. How about you?
Yeah, that's the debate in my mind is between the same two. It's between Tootin and Bigsby in my head as to which of them would lead the team specifically in rushing touchdowns, which is the question we're asking. I think given the lack of clarity with how all of these guys are going to be used, that it's the best chance for one of them to be the, quote, short yardage guy would be Bigsby.
I agree with that, sure.
Right? So that's where I would vote, but I'm with you. It's not like I'm going to stamp it. I vote that way because that's the direction for short yardage goal line that feels most likely right now.
But what your point yesterday, you think they're going to be a team that looks to throw in the red zone.
Yeah.
Right? And throw to score.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the leading touchdown rusher for the team is like 7 or 8. Like, that wouldn't surprise me all that much.
By the way, Bucky Irving scored 8 rushing touchdowns last year for Tampa.
How many did Baker score?
Rushing 3, I think.
Okay.
I think he had 3. I happen to be looking at Baker's stats for another reason earlier this week, and ultimately didn't draft him. But anyway, and Bigsby had 7 rushing touchdowns last year. Etienne had 2. That's hard to believe. Man. Yeah, it's really hard to believe.
He had 11 the year before, but that's when Bigsby was dealing with all the fumble issues.
He was.
Like, they didn't even put him on the field. Basically, after those early fumbles, they said, nope, done.
Right.
That's how Bigsby was his rookie year. And we were all like, I wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to let him have another chance to come back? They had that game late in the year, his rookie season. I think it was against the Colts, right? And I can remember talking about how important it was that they gave him a carry in the fourth quarter of a game, right? Maybe their confidence is coming back in Tank Bigsby. That's the way the conversation was going after his rookie year, but it is what it is with Tank at this point. They all got to deal with whatever their fumbling issues are.
Irish Diplomacy on Twitter. The more I think about this running back room, the more I think this competition is wide open. No loyalty with no clear-cut leader left over. I agree with no clear-cut leader left over, but look, it's human nature that this is my guy. I picked this guy. I anointed this guy to be our next guy. You heard Jamal St. say that James Gladstone had identified him before he even got the job as a potential day 3 bargain or steal. So he's had his mind wrapped around Bajal Tootin and that film of his. And then they did go out there. And again, Scattaboo is, if they had drafted Scattaboo right there, we would have said, well, here's a guy who ran for, he run for 1,700 yards and had 500 yards receiving. And he went with the very next pick. I don't think anybody would have been shocked. Maybe you would have said, okay, well, I thought they'd lean into the speed element, and that's what they did. But this is the guy that they picked. I think it's hard to say if it's even Do you go with the incumbent or do you go with the new guy? I think they probably go with the new guy under the idea that we don't want to sign a veteran edge until we see what we're going to do in the draft because we don't want to block any of those guys. Well, you got a veteran running back who most people agree, and maybe we're wrong, but this is it's easy to speculate. This is Travis Etienne's last year in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And if he's not your long-term answer and this guy would benefit from getting on the field early and working the kinks out early in his NFL career, I think that, ties go to the new guy.
Yeah, and I think I'm looking at rushing touchdowns by teams, right, in the NFL. So not by a specific player. You mentioned Bucky Irvin having the number that he had last year in Tampa, but by teams, how many rushing touchdowns they had on the entire season. Last year, the Jaguars had 13, which is the bottom quarter of the league, basically. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 16. Even as much more effective as their offense was, they had 3 more rushing touchdowns on the whole season. And at the Rams,
16, that includes 3 from Baker.
That includes the 3 from Baker. And
so running backs got 13, or unless they had a wide receiver sneak one in there.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. And just because Gladstone was there last year, the Rams had 15.
And keep on, Baker threw 41, I think. Right? Yeah. Now, granted, he had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
And I do think that creates more of the picture of what I think it could look like, right, when they get to that part of the field. And Tampa was a really good offense last year. We know that. They were really good. They ran the ball really effectively. But when they got down to that part of the field, they threw it. And part of that is Mike Evans is a Hall of Fame player. If he did nothing else in the red zone, he's a Hall of Fame player.
Sure.
Right? Like his body in the red zone.
He never played another
Right.
down.
It's ridiculous what he can do in that part of the field. So why wouldn't you throw it to him over and over?
I think BTJ is pretty ridiculous too now.
I would love to see them test that hypothesis.
He's a high pointer. I mean, he can do. I don't know if there's anything he can't do, really. He's not a box you out guy, but he doesn't need to be there. And Travis Hunter's so quick in small little spaces.
Yeah, use BTJ until you figure out what he can't do.
Somebody suggested it'll be Bigsby with Brenton Strange as playing a fullback role. I mean, I know he can do that, but I looked. Tampa didn't have a fullback on the roster. I'm not saying Cade Otton never lined up in the backfield for him, but
no, he's going to be lining up tight to the line of scrimmage at tight end, and he's going to do it for 90-95% of the snaps as long as he's healthy.
Right. I'm not saying there will be occasions when he is on the field, maybe in the backfield, and you've got Hunter Long or Johnny Munt out there as well. But just as likely, they'll both be on either end of the line of scrimmage.
There was some thought with that last year with Brenton Strange, and they showed it, right? In preseason, they ran it. I can remember the play, I think week 1 of the preseason, where they had Ingram actually lined up as the fullback, right, at one point. So that was part of what they were thinking about in the offense last year. I don't think that's here this year.
I've never understood why if you want a fullback, why, like you look at this year's draft, right? Willie Lampkin, right, was like 275, and I think he went undrafted, and everyone's like, oh, you can still play in this league. Guy like that, give me some athletic guard who, undersized guard.
Yeah, we need it for that 2 snaps.
How can that guy not be an effective fullback? I guess foot speed and quickness, but there have got to be some out there that have it that are too small to play the position, the offensive line position that they played in college at the pro level. Commissioner Duval followed up, said, I know you say you're old a lot, but you're in your mid-50s, and the original playlists were those blank cassette tapes that we filled up. Yeah, right, but I don't play those anymore. Those are long gone. Yes, back in the day, I did, like many, record the music straight off the radio. You kind of you sat there and you started recording. It's the next song,
Made our
one I
own
want.
Mixtapes, yep.
Well, that's just the way you did it. I remember the first time I got a dual cassette boombox, so I could high-speed dub one song onto another cassette. My gosh, this technology is going to be around forever.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm on the cutting edge right there. So, all right, let's take a look at where the poll stands, and there's still time for you to vote if you haven't already today in your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, and you think Tank Bigsby so far. Which running back will lead the Jags in rushing touchdowns this year? 40% going Bigsby, 29% going Etienne, 26.5% going Tootin, and 4% then LaKent Allen. He did score 16 last year. Will be the leading rushing touchdown scorer for the Jags. I'd give him about a 4% chance. That sounds about right. So, all right, there you go. That'll wrap up Jaguars today, but fret not, because here comes Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
LB, Lauren Brooks, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well.
Good. I like your old school shirt.
This is real old school right here. This is, I don't know how old, though. 15
It would be
years?
Yeah.
At least.
We know more than
that.
10. We actually more than 11.
Yeah. I don't know. It's old. It's old. Let's put it that way. It's from across the street days version. Vintage is what I think it's called. It's referred to Lauren Collector's item, which is nice as well. So, all right, we've done all our damage check. Who do you think leads the Jags in rushing touchdowns this year?
I'm going to go with Bashal Tootin.
You are.
Mhm.
That's who I'm going with as well.
Yeah. I think, and I heard Jamal on with you guys from Channel 4, Jamal St here. There's a reason that they had him pegged, and I think Liam Cohen's excited to be able to use him similarly to how he used Bucky Irving in Tampa.
Look, none of us know, right? We're all just speculating based on circumstances. So maybe Jamal's right. Jamal thinks it'll be the Etienne Bigsby show for this 1 year, with Tootin kind of getting his feet wet, with Kent Allen being a third down back and Tootin factoring in on special teams. Maybe it goes that way, you know? The difference with Gabe Davis and Etienne, obviously, is the money wasn't guaranteed to Gabe Davis. You know, the cap hit is significant, but you're going to take that at some point anyway when you moved on. You're either going to pay him this year and take a cap hit next year, so they save a little bit against the cap. They got to pay Etienne regardless.
Yeah, we talked to Indy Bitter, who covers Virginia Tech, and we wanted to specifically talk about Tootin's fumbles. And he said you really have to look at them individually, which you could probably say that about most running backs, right? But like one was the time his leg got destroyed. He was injured. Another time he was, like trying to do a little too much, like just different stuff. So take it down to more like 7 than 9 fumbles.
Yeah, I remember Freddie T tore that groin muscle off the bone.
Yes.
That ball came out quick. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
You got that.
You guys take it.
I would do that as well.
Yeah, right. There are occasions when that's certainly understandable. What do you have coming up today?
Well, we're going to talk Jaguars. We're also going to talk some college football. Zach Albaverdi down in Gainesville will join us at 12:40, and at 1:20 we'll talk Georgia football. So we'll head to Atlanta and talk with Myles Garrett. Not that Myles Garrett.
All right, the other Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
Hour 3, all Knicks all the time, right?
And we will make sure that we get to a little bit of Knicks. We don't have an hour 3.
Oh, damn it.
But we will get to it at some point in our 2 hours. And, oh, by the way, this isn't going to matter to either of you, but maybe Dylan. Actually, I don't think him either. But either way, we have 3 pairs of tickets to see Riley Green and the Damn Country Music Tour. None of y'all are country music fans.
Riley Green, come on down.
Yeah, but Dylan, you're not a country music fan either, right?
Negative.
That's what I
Dylan,
thought.
Riley Green not on your playlist?
Negative.
All right.
And you didn't know who Pink Floyd was with
Oh, that
Dark
was
Side of the
sad.
Moon, Dylan.
That was sad.
That was
definitely.
But you know what? I get it. He's in his 20s. Pink
No,
Floyd
I don't
in
get
their
that. He's
in the
20,
70s.
he's 27. He went to college. I'm sure somebody was playing Dark Side of the Moon in the dorms.
One would think.
You would think, right?
Black lights and
Accompanied by heavy doses of marijuana.
I just had like 45 minutes. I was like, I'll put on Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, why not?
I just listened to the whole album. I was like, yeah, turn it up. Like, that's still every now and
Dark
then.
Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
All right, LB, have a great show.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we'll see you tomorrow. Well, we see right now, but we'll see you tomorrow, and then hopefully out at minicamp this weekend as well. Tom McManus in studio with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Thanks to Jamal St here from Channel 4 for stopping by. Always appreciate all of you who give us some feedback for our questions of the day and anything else Jaguar related. So let's do it again tomorrow from 10 to noon as we get ready for rookie minicamp. Congrats to Travis Hunter and all these guys. I don't know the graduating status of all the Jaguar rookie class, but he's kind of the lightning rod, and it's out there today, graduating now as a 2-time first-team academic All-American. So congrats to him.
Yeah.
Put the school books away, get the playbook out, and let's get to town. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.